one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you? But I might as well be in a hotel room, yeah. It doesn't matter cause I'm so consumed, spending all my nights reading texts from you. Oh, I'm good at keeping my distance. I know that you're the feeling I'm missing. You know that I hate to admit it, but everything means nothing if I can't have you. I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I'm so sorry that my timing's off, but I can't move on if we're still gonna talk. Is it wrong for me to not want half? I want all of you, all the strings attached. Oh, I'm good at keeping my distance. I know that you're the feeling I'm missing. You know that I hate to admit it, but everything means nothing if I can't have you. I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I'm trying to move on, forget you, but I hold on. Everything means nothing, everything means nothing, babe. I'm trying to move on, forget you, but I hold on. Everything means nothing if I can't have you. No, I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you?
I'm not alone.
sundown and they all come out. Lamborghinis and they rented hummus. The party's on, so they're heading downtown. Everybody's looking for a come up, and they wanna know what you're about. Me in the middle with the one I love, and we're just trying to figure everything out. We don't fit in well, 'cause we are just ourselves. I could use some help getting out of this conversation. Yeah, you look stunning, dear, so don't ask that question here. This is my only fear, that we become beautiful people. Top designer clothes, front row fashion shows. What you do and who'd you know? Inside the world of beautiful people. Champagne and rolled up nose, prenups and broken homes. Surrounded but still alone. Let's leave the party. That's not who we are. We are not beautiful. Yeah, that's not who we are. We are not beautiful. True for hours last night and we made it nowhere. I see stars in your eyes when we're halfway there. I'm not fazed by all the lights and flashy cameras, 'cause with my arms around you, there's no need to care. We don't fit in well, we are just ourselves. I could use some help getting out of this conversation here. You look stunning, please, so don't ask that question here. This is my only fear, that we become beautiful people. Top designer clothes, front row fashion shows. What you do and who'd you know? Inside the world of beautiful people. Champagne and rolled up nose, prenups and broken homes. Surrounded but still alone. Let's leave the party. That's not who we are. We are not beautiful. Yeah, that's not who we are. We are not beautiful. We are not beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dixie State University's premier song and dance group, directed by Jeffrey Reynolds, the one and only Raging Red, singing our country's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there, still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Good morning and welcome to President Williams' annual State of the University Address. We are so glad to see so many of you could join us today as we celebrate Dixie State University's accomplishments over this last year. I would like to recognize some of our special guests we have in attendance today, including DSU's First Lady, Kristen Williams, members of our Board of Trustees, our local government officials, DSU's vice presidents and deans, and friends of the university. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Taylor Godfrey, your student body president, and I would like to recognize my executive council of Dixie State University's Student Association. As a body, we thrive on the opportunity we have to represent the students as well as create opportunities and experiences that the students, including ourselves, will never forget. These experiences help foster school pride and the Dixie spirit, along with unify the campus. The Dixie spirit, though it may mean something different to all of us, it means opportunity to our students. It means excitement for our students. And it means anticipating the future and the trails we will blaze because of our time here at Dixie. The time spent at Dixie State University is invaluable, and as student government, we convey this through our student life events like the Foam Dance or Miss Dixie, through our Stampede as they support our student athletes' competitions in their transition into Division I athletics, through our Senate as they pass bills to support students' future aspirations, and many more. The overarching element of what we as DSUSA do and aim to do this year is students supporting students. What is so special about today's State of the University Address is that this represents we as a community supporting the campus and we as a community supporting the future of the university. So I'm excited to continue to introduce the rest of the program and the individuals that make all of this possible, as well as this upcoming video that embodies who we are as an institution.
right? Thank you, Taylor. My name is Tiffany Draper. I am the Staff Association President representing the Staff Association Board and the incredible staff that we have here at Dixie State University. The Staff Association, and here at DSU, are a dedicated group of individuals with a passion for student success, often being the leaders amongst our academic counterparts from other universities as we trailblaze innovative ways to help students succeed. The Staff Association has been our platform for providing a unified and powerful voice for all of us to not only raise concerns that have guided us through our strategic plan and student-centered vision, but also to celebrate the achievements of our efforts. This year, we are expanding on the goals from our previous year, continuing that momentum garnered from our hard work and adding a few additional focus points. First, as we seek to listen and understand the needs of staff at DSU, we want to provide avenues for communication to see that ideas are heard and concerns are addressed. Second, in our effort to increase communication across campus, we want to offer additional opportunities for staff trainings. And third, we want to continue to increase staff association involvement and awareness. Many of these initiatives are already moving forward, and I encourage all faculty, staff, and community members to reach out to a member of one of our staff association board for more information. And to know who they are, I'd like to introduce them at this time. So if you are here as your name is called, please stand and stay standing until I finish naming everybody. Allie Threet, past president. John Gibb, president-elect. Sheila Cannon, secretary. Roberta Cole, treasurer. Candy Pierce, communications officer. And our second-year board members, Alan Fox, Tyson Pulsver, Cameron Draper, and Spencer Chatland. And our first-year board members, Chris Gifford, Annalie Bundy, Deb Millett, and Chewy Lockhart. This group knows how to work hard and have fun, and they remind me regularly why I continue to choose to work at DSU. Thank you. So now that the DSU website has had an awesome makeover, I invite you all to visit our Staff Association page to get a better idea of the initiatives, successes, and committees. Here's a list of all of the committees that we have to get involved in. So I encourage every staff member to reach out and connect with the committee that interests you. Our staff at DSU are truly amazing, oftentimes going above and beyond to help Dixie State continue to grow and move forward. One of my favorite things about being in this position is being able to brag about our staff at administrative meetings. So at this time, I'd actually like to let all staff know that your efforts are appreciated and vital to the success of Dixie State University, and would like to recognize your amazing contribution and publicly thank you all for all you do. So please give our staff at DSU a very big, warm hand of applause. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Samuel Tobler. Have to remind myself, I'm Associate Professor of Physics and Astronomy, and I am the current Faculty Senate President. The Faculty Senate is populated by elected tenure-track faculty from the various departments across campus. We regularly meet together to discuss the concerns of the faculty. Last year, the Faculty Senate was instrumental in improving policies related to expectations of faculty. These improvements focus around three main areas: student learning and success, scholarship and creative activities, and service. As is often the case, whenever improvements are introduced, it takes a while to fully implement them. This is the case here. Therefore, our goals for this academic year are as follows. First, we want to help each department create subject-specific rubrics to clearly define expectations for all full-time faculty. Second, continue to improve the quality of education our faculty can and do provide to our students by reviewing policies and making adjustments as needed to reflect the best practices in higher education. Third, keep the dialogue open with university leadership on how faculty can be best supported in all areas of our jobs. Fourth, honor faculty for their achievements by awarding monthly Mini Trailblazer Awards. And fifth, celebrate career achievements of faculty by holding the annual Distinguished Faculty Awards ceremony and honoring all those who are finalists for their awards. With these goals, the Faculty Senate hopes to support the great work done by our faculty. We anticipate the students at Dixie State University will continue to receive the quality education they have come to expect from this great institution. Thank you for this opportunity that I have been given to share with you our goals. The faculty as a whole are truly excited to be a part of this growing institution, and I appreciate this time today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Clark. I have the privilege of chairing Dixie State's Board of Trustees. And we have a number of them. Some of them have traveled considerable distance to be with us today. Would they mind standing? And please join with me in thanking. Come on, I can see you right here. Stand up. Thank you. You know, there's a rich history for Dixie State. I'm thinking back just a few hundred feet from where we're sitting here today. Those early pioneers, on day 2 of their arrival, started a school in the back of a wagon. And I don't know that the value of education has ever diminished one drop from that day till now. We've seen the beginning in 1911 when they opened up the school there on Main Street. Started out at Dixie Academy. Later moved on. In fact, the transition as it moved from that to a state school involved 1 year where there was no support for the school except what the community was able to gather to keep the school open and teachers involved. Following that, we've gone from a junior college to now a university. And in fact, we are transitioning, I would say, from, as was used, status to stature into that university stature. Those folks that are here now, part of the institution, are part of that rich legacy that looks back at what's transpired, and you are now part of that Dixie State legacy, and it's beginning to change. The skyline of this institution is beginning to change. You're going to see, as we've seen with the Human Performance Center, and its partial opening already, and the rest of it in just a few weeks, going on to the Science, Technology and Engineering building, new student housing. The skyline is going to be beginning to change, as well as the form and function as we move to a Division I in athletic competition. All of you are part of that rich legacy now. I think back of Dr. Barnum, who's well past 50 in the number of graduations, commencement services that he has witnessed. There are a few in this room that will probably be here 50 years from now when it comes time to commencement. And what we're seeing, the small incremental changes that are taking place today are going to have a large effect down the road. And I thank you for your participation and making a difference in this institution. You are every bit a part of, as if you were here at 1911, you are very much a part of the history and the legacy of this institution. It's my privilege now, well, before I do that, I want to thank the staff and faculty. We just heard from their representatives. I don't know that I've ever been associated with a more dedicated group that want to see success of the institution, which means success of the students that are transitioning through this. I appreciate what each one of you do. I think without a question, it goes the extra step in all that you do, and we thank you very much. I want you to know it doesn't go by unnoticed, and it certainly is not unappreciated. It's my privilege now, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, to introduce the captain of our ship here, and one that we fully support and admire and has helped set the course and the direction, and as this institution continues to elevate and to grow. My privilege now to introduce President Williams.
Good morning and welcome to Dixie State University. I've In 1861, 309 families blazed trails to southern Utah to settle St. George and formed Dixie State University from the back of a covered wagon. Today, St. George and Dixie State have risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing cities and universities in the country. With 200 academic programs, small class sizes, and active learning education, Utah's lowest university tuition, and boasting the hottest job market in the nation, see why Dixie State was voted one of the best colleges in the West.
Another great video from our University Marketing Communications Department. You'll see this on television. We're going to start highlighting in a big way all the great things that are happening at our institution. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit about our strategic plan. You've heard 5 years of this. This is our 5th and final year of implementation of Dixie 2020 Status to Stature. We've spent 5 years working on these 6 goals. And as I said before, hundreds of people on our campus and our community have helped us realize these goals. We do know that the plan is working. If you're on campus and you're feeling the momentum and the excitement on our campus, it's because so many individuals have worked so hard in trying to accomplish these goals. We know it's working because of some of the recognition that we're receiving. Last year was the first year in the history of Dixie State University that U.S. News and World Report, we made their rankings. This year, we not only made the rankings, but we improved in the rankings. Last year, we were ranked number 7. Now we're 6th. Last year, we were 26th. Now we are 25th. And then probably what makes us smile the most is that we were also voted the best university in southern Utah. If that doesn't get a few thousand tweets, I don't know what will. I'm going to explain some of the accomplishments of our strategic plan, go by each goal, highlight some of the exciting things that are happening. Because it's the 5th and final year, I'll share with you some of the things that we're going to do to finalize this plan. And I'll first start by each goal. There's a student depicted, and I just want to tell you a little bit about each of these students that you'll see on these Goal 1 slides. The first is promoting student success. This is Guillaume Parra. He is one of our international students. He's from Barcelona, Spain. He's a senior accounting major, and he's also a vice president of our DSUSA marketing. What he loves the most about Dixie State University is that not only is he growing academically, he's growing as a person, which in my mind, that's what we are doing as a university. So what are we doing for student success? The first is we focused a lot on strategic enrollment. If you tried to park today, you know that our enrollment is up. Strategic enrollment management plan led by Darlene Dilley, who's our assistant vice president, but it's been a university effort. Everybody on our campus has been focused on how do we get more students served, how do we help them be successful, how do we retain them, and so we've been doing a lot of new initiatives trying to get more students on this campus and helping them be successful. In fact, this year our deans have worked a lot with the videographer. Now, you're probably asking yourself, I can't hear the sound. You shouldn't hear the sound. None of the videos you'll hear sound throughout the presentation. But this is just as one example of what the deans did to promote their colleges and help students connect with what's happening academically. And all these efforts from our recruiters who have knocked it out of the park, our mission officers, our registrar, our faculty, our staff, our students, accommodating these students has worked. Our enrollment over the last 6 years has increased about 22.5%. Now, because I'm giving this presentation earlier in the year, we're not allowed to report our numbers for this year. And so as you can see, there's no numbers reported for 2019, but if you want to assume something by the bar chart, that's your prerogative. But we are way up, and it's because of all the work of my colleagues here at Dixie State University and what we're trying to do for students. And the students, they came. This is a video of our new student orientation. If you ever want to have a heart attack, just let them lower your student body president from the rafters. This is a very scary moment in life, but this shows you how active this new group is, and they're engaging. When we went to the expo, they're pulling aside and asking who you are and what you do, and it's just a great class. They're very academically prepared. Every year we get students that are even more prepared academically, which is exciting for us. We also have a good partnership with Washington County School District. So our concurrent enrollment program that's led by Kevin Simmons, he's the director of concurrent enrollment, has been on campus for 4 or 5 years, and you can see his work by these numbers. And so concurrent enrollment is when a student can concurrently enroll in high school but also take college credit classes. And look at the growth that he and his team have accomplished. And what's exciting is these students are taking these classes and it's affordable and they're getting their education and they'll have less time to complete and they can get out into the workforce. Another program is our structured enrollment program. This addresses those that may not be quite prepared to come to the university, and so we have optimized onboarding for them. We have a referral system, so if they're starting to have some academic challenges, we can refer them. And this program's working. This program had 67% retention in 2018 and at 83% this last year, which is an 8% decrease in academic failure, which is huge. Another successful program that we have is peer coaching. This is under the direction of Jay Sorensen. He's done a tremendous job and his team of having students coach students and how to be successful. They also have a referral system. They refer each other to resources so that they can get the help that they need. We also added about 24 supplemental instruction programs classes last year. If you ask if it works, it's working. For our peer coaching program, that first bar at the top of the slide, that's if you just have one interaction with a peer coach. The bottom bar is if you have 1 or 2 or 3, but if you're fully implemented, you have an 88.8% chance of being retained. Another program is our Trailblazer Connection. This is a 2-year-old program. This was led by Dr. Nancy Hauk and Aaron Ortiz. This is that first-year experience class where we help them get used to campus. And we wanted to know whether or not this worked. We knew retention-wise it was working, but we polled our students. We surveyed them. Students often define their success by whether or not they're fed, and so this year, I think one of the most popular things we've done in the last 5 years is bring Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut to our campus. So we're really excited about having those improvements to our dining hall. So with the work that we'll do with number one, is that we're going to expand Trailblazer Connection, our peer program. We're going to make sure that the Atwood retention grants are working and that they get properly funded. And of course, we're going to continue tweaking our general education reform and math alternatives. So let's talk about number two, broadening our academic programs. This is probably the most recognizable on our campus, all the different programs that we've added. Let me tell you about this student. This is Ellie Habibian. She was a freshman last year. She won our Dixie state pageant. She also competed in Miss Utah. And what she likes the most about Dixie State University is that at any given time, if you need help, whether your professor's available or not, they'll come and they'll make time to sit down with you and explain things, which I think that really depicts what we're doing in academics. Last year, we added 3 new graduate degree programs. That was in addition to the Master's in Accounting that we added last year. Last year, commencement was historical in that we had our first graduate degree recipients at Dixie State University walk across the podium and receive their degree. We also had great progress in our new undergraduate degree programs. We added 3. One to note, which is, they're all special, but the Bachelor of Applied Science in Health Science is the first in the state. It's a flip degree where a student could have an associate's degree in nursing or respiratory therapy. They get online, they take their general education, and they get a Bachelor's of Applied Science. We're the first institution in the state of Utah to do that. Our curriculum portfolio under the leadership of Provost Michael LaCourse, the deans, and of course Dr. Pam Contrell that really oversees the work. It is not easy adding an academic program. They make it look really easy, but it's not. But our academic portfolio has really developed over the last 5 years, and we'll continue to do that. In addition to academic programs, we must have facilities. When we started our strategic plan, we had a goal of creating what's called the School of Interdisciplinary Innovation. I probably get asked that question more than any others: where's the School of Innovation or Interdisciplinary Innovation? And that's called Atwood Innovation Plaza. Just this year alone, if you look at what's happened there, innovation's happening all throughout that building. We've had more than 35 businesses launched in Atwood Innovation Plaza under the direction of Dr. Wayne Provost, who we've met many times, 91 filed patents. We have one business that's being incubated right now, MedLight ID, which I'll tell you a little more about. Had 650 innovators and entrepreneurs served there, and 30 different business education events, which affected about 2,300 people. So innovation is happening there. About this business, MedLight ID, this was an idea from Dr. Wayne Provost. These are 3 lights that clip onto an infusion line for a patient, and they light up so that the nurse or the doctor knows where to put the medication. This device is going to save lives. It's going to reduce medical errors. And what we're really excited about, this is the MedLight ID right here, and it's now going to market. And so this is a huge success story that we've now fully incubated a business out of Innovation Plaza. We've also focused a lot on pedagogical excellence. Dr. Bruce Harris, who's our Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs, has focused a lot on providing opportunities and resources for our faculty. We're a teaching institution. We want to make sure that we have an active learning environment, that our teachers have the resources in order to affect these students in a positive way. Last year they had learning seminars, they had the innovation retreats, they had learning innovation spaces provided to them. They made sure that they had quality course delivery activities. We focused a lot on these quality course activities. Our online education led by Ryan Hobbs. He is the executive director over our digital and online extended learning. Last year we launched 2 programs, the BAS, which I mentioned before, but our RN to BSN program. They also developed 17 online programs and also a certification in Amazon Web Services. So a lot has happened there. We're also focusing on having buildings. I think you've all seen this. If you have not seen this building, then you're not looking, or you haven't been on campus very much. This is the Human Performance Center. We're going to invite you to the ribbon cutting on November 13th, 2019. If you're parking close there today, you can walk in and see the academic side is open. The recreation side will soon be open. Last year, we also made a proposal to the state legislature that we needed science, engineering, and technology building. They awarded us $50 million to build this building. And so this building will do a ribbon cutting in October on homecoming week. We hope that, not ribbon cutting, we're going to do a groundbreaking. We're really excited about this. There's a lot of groundbreaking ribbon cuttings. Getting them all straight is a little difficult, but it's a great time. They say that you only know if you're successful if you always have a bulldozer on your campus. Well, we've got half a dozen, so we feel like we're successful. Many have asked what's happening at the graph mural. This is to support our music department. There will be 12 practice rooms and 7 faculty office under the graph. We also had a very generous donation from Dennis and Diane Lyman of $1 million to create the Geoscience Center. You'll see that they'll appear later on. They're some of our greatest supporters. So planned work. We'll add 2 additional master's degree programs this year. We're going to work on applied kinesiology, but also a doctorate in occupational therapy. We have partnered with the University of Utah. We were partnering with physical therapy and occupational therapy. Through accreditation and different things, we've learned that occupational therapy will be better with us, so University of Utah is fully supporting us, and we're going to go it alone with occupational therapy, so you should see that this year. Undergraduate-wise, you'll see a number of degree programs. These degree programs are focused on reducing workforce shortages. Our faculty and staff have identified those that will better serve our region. And so you'll see everything from baccalaureates to certificates added this next year. Online learning has a great future here. They're going to be building a lot for student support, from Proctorio to campus templates to the Bridge program. We also will see a number of new programs from certificates to associates to bachelors. We know in Washington County alone that we tend to have a higher percentage of those that have some degree or some college but no degree, and so we want to serve as many Washington County residents as we possibly can. In addition to that planned work, there's 3 other things. We're working on the master teacher program, the curricular handbook, and we also want to make sure we have a systematic process of measuring the success of our online programs. So that's goal 2. A lot of work has been done, and I always like to brag about our faculty because they get one program through is very difficult, and they're just putting several through every year, and I commend our academic administration for what they're doing. So goal 3, investing in probably one of our greatest assets, which is our people. This is August Barlow. August Barlow grew up in Hilldale, Utah. He came to Dixie State University. He was a biology major, and August loves serving people. In fact, probably his more notable service was creating a chapter of Camp Keeson. Camp Keeson is a summer program for the youth that have parents that are battling cancer, and he was instrumental in that. And August is now at medical school at the University of Utah, he's a great success story. Our focus with Goal 3 has been equity. We want to make sure that we're paying our faculty and staff equitable. We have one of the best human resources department, I believe, in the nation. Travis Rosenberg leads that team. They have worked very hard to make sure that we have a great working environment here on our campus. We focused a lot on equity. 5 years ago, we set a goal to have all our faculty and staff earn 100% of the median market. Now, if you look at the numbers there in the bars, there's a lot of people that were either below 85% or 80 or 90 or 95. And this is something that most people want to shy away from because you always have a moving target. But under the direction of Vice President Paul Morris and Bryant Flake and their team, we went from this to last year 100% of our employees made 100% of their median. And so this was not an easy task. If you look at, we divided up in dollar amounts what we'd have to bring the faculty and staff to their market median. And last year, this is what we had to capture, and we did it. Now, we're not going to stop there. We've now identified what the fiscal year 18 group is, and so anytime that you're having goals for compensation, the goal moves every year in your market, and so we want to make sure that we keep the best and the brightest on our campus. So this year it'll affect 223 individuals, but we'll have to put about $500,000 to make sure that they are compensated fairly. And so that's what we're working towards. We've also made sure that we have at least a 2.5% increase every year. We're lucky that we live in the state of Utah. Our legislature values the state workers, and we're so excited that they are supporting us every year in compensation. Our faculty and staff are constantly being promoted, and so we want to reward them as well as give equity to those that need equity adjustments. We focused on hiring and retaining great faculty and staff. This is from mentor programs to onboarding, quarterly professional development. We've had for 4 years now a professional development program. We had the 4th annual. At the beginning we had 50 or 60 individuals. Now we had over 219 individuals that were there. We also had the opportunity as a university to host the Utah Women in Higher Education Network. Also with our employees, we want to make sure they have great workplaces. This last year, many of you will recognize this in the bottom left-hand corner. It used to be our automotive program and a bunch of garages. This was renovated to create offices for facilities management. We have one of the best facility management groups. Sherry Roosh, who's our executive director of facilities management. She has a wonderful team. If you walk around our campus and see how beautiful it is, how the buildings are being renovated, all the new buildings that are being built, they are very busy, but you would never know it because they handle everything so great. This is another picture in this building. And just to share with you the quality of employees that we have, this bottom right-hand picture of this table, this was actually built, and if you ever get a chance, just walk over and see it. This was built by our facility management crew. The wood top is from a house that we tore down on campus. And then the legs, you can't really see it, the legs are pipes. These are leftover construction materials that were left over from our building projects. So I think that probably defines frugality pretty good. When facilities management moved out of their building, we're now creating the IT Solutions Center for planned work on Goal 3. Of course, we want to keep our market median, so we'll be focused on that. We also know that part-time don't always get an increase because they're part-time, and so last year we gave them a raise, and we want to fund that again this next year. And of course, we want to do the 5th and final year where we do the Great Colleges to Work For survey. Goal 4, which is our diversity goal. This is Ernesto Escobar. He's from Canab. He's a first-generation student to come to college. His parents grew up in Mexico. English is his second language. For him to come to Dixie State University, he utilized every resource that we have because his family really didn't understand what it is or what it took to come to college. So he's here, he's a criminology major, and his goal is to be a police officer, and he will definitely, no doubt in my mind, reach that goal. This last year we completed a campus survey in preparation for the next strategic plan. We wanted to do a climate survey. How are our employees feeling? How are our students feeling? This was completed, and we'll implement this into our next strategic plan. We have a wonderful Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council. This is not them. It's a good picture to show. These are our wonderful students in our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council. They're led by Dr. Tasha Toy, who's our Chief Diversity Officer. She has really been a breath of fresh air to our campus and new initiatives. One of the influences she's had on the Inclusive Excellence Conference. That conference is great every year. We have an Inclusive Excellence Conference, and it gets better every single year. We focused a lot on recruitment of students, minority students. We want to make sure that our students, when they come to campus, when they go out to the working world, that they can work in this world. We focused on a busing initiative. Last year we had the National Association for College Admission Counselors come to the state of Utah. We decided to bus them from Vegas to come to us, and we had great yields. They had students that applied and then students that actually came. We also did a busing initiative from LA, where 30 students come, also Copper Hills High School, and we have great yields. If we can get the students in St. George and on our campus, they will come. We set several goals for minority students, from applications to minutes to enrollment. We blew all those goals out of the water. This is Derek Figuera, who's also one of our recruiters that we just hired. He's in California. We've also looked at transfer students, minority students. We did a great job there in getting transfer students to recognize that Dixie State University is a great option. We also focused a lot on recruitment of diverse faculty and staff. We want our students to be on our campus to be able to say, I have faculty and staff that look like me, act like me, and have backgrounds like me. You'll see from the data that from the applicants to hired, we have diversified very well. We've funded diversity advertising, which has helped, and we have funded what's called Train the Trainer, which we have a diversity advocate on each hiring committee, which has made a big difference. So overall, with our diversity benchmarks, we've done a great job. We've increased into every area. Our team has worked very hard to diversify our campus, and you can feel how exciting our campus is in embracing diversity. Our goals for this final year of implementation, we are going through an intercultural education. We want 100% of our faculty and staff to take that education. We're focusing still on advertising full-time positions in diverse areas, and we'll continue to have our annual diversity advocate training. So goal 5. This is where you all come in, engaging in Southern Utah. This is probably one of our best assets, is the people within our community. This is Jaden Harris. She's a senior dance major. She came from Pocatello, Idaho. And what she likes most about Dixie State University is she's been able to perform. She's been able to go internationally and perform. She won Dixie's Got Talent and was our Entertainer of the Year last year. And what she says is none of those opportunities would have happened if I hadn't come to Dixie State University. Now with Southern Utah, this next slide I think is the best slide to depict how we're partners. Just recently, we completed the Interstate I-15 tunnel, which our students absolutely love. I jogged through there this morning. I didn't think at 5:30 in the morning there would be other people, but there were. It's a little concerning at first, but it was good. It's well lit. But this was a partnership with St. George City, with Utah, with the Metropolitan Planning Committee, and we were able to combine our resources to do something that's really going to have a tremendous effect on our community. And I think that's what engaging Southern Utah is all about. We've also had great success with our Trailblazer Engagement Center. We are focused on becoming a community-engaged, classified university. And so we have to have mentor efforts, volunteer fairs. We put an application together, Dr. Nancy Happ, Karen Wright, Dr. Kelly Bringhurst, and hundreds of others put together this application. We'll know if we're a Carnegie Community Engaged Classified University here in December, but it's just hundreds of pages, and it's been a 5-year effort. When we started a strategic plan, we wanted to do it right away, and they said it takes 5 years. And so this hasn't been just something that you decide to do. They've had 5 years of effort in doing this. Part of it is tagging our classes for active learning and active life. In 2018, there were 42 courses tagged. With this designation now, there's over 80. We've also focused on internationalizing our campus. Our goal in the strategic plan was 11 events, multicultural events on our campus every year. This last year, we had over 30 events. We've also enhanced our study abroad program. More and more students are studying abroad. Last year we had 7 locations, 10 faculty and 61 students, and there's now a new global emphasis that's added for that. We focused a lot on our international students. If you haven't met any of our international students, you need to. This effort's been led by Shaban Bashir. He's our Director of International Students. We focused on 5 new countries, but we also know that we have 38 countries represented in our international student body. We've focused a lot on increasing our international applicants. You'll see here that we've done a better job every year in recruiting these international applicants. We also had a very interesting project. It was called the International STEM Recruitment Campaign. This is where our STEM programs here on campus, they partnered with students from South Asia. They created a committee, and now they're starting to do the foundational work for what we call STEM plans, or STEM Friends, Global STEM Friends. The goals that we have in mind to implement Goal 5 in its final year is to make sure that our active learning course designation is throughout our entire curriculum. We're going to make sure that we continue the mini grants, perhaps up to 6, and then increase the number of international students by 20%. So last but certainly not least is Goal 6. This is establishing a strong brand. Now I tried to figure out a little bit about Brooks, but he's only 3 years old. He's an overachiever. He's on campus now. But this has been a great goal for our campus. A lot of people are working very hard. Our alumni this last year, under the direction of John Bowler and our alumni president, Kelly Prince, they've established a legacy initiative, which you'll learn a lot more about. But they have great event attendance. They also had new added value initiatives such as Dixie Deals, which many of you probably have heard about. Our publications, last year we wanted to focus on our community. All these publications were sent out. We had the first annual academic report that went out, as well as our Trailblazer magazine and the President's Report. Our Blazer Bulletin, our readership went up over 300% this last year. Our social media has reached tens of thousands of individuals every day. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's just @DSUPrez with an S, not a Z. Thought that was too hip, and that might make me look different, but our public relations has done a good job. 101 press releases. And as you look at what that equivalency could be, that's over $13 million. So our UMAC department continues to knock it out of the park with very little, and they have a very large impact. Many of you saw probably this next PR, which is the D on the Hill. This was led by our students. I think at first they were trying to reduce the work, and because every time you put in the D, they'd have to hike up there, put red bags over it, tape them up, and then that's what it turned red for homecoming. They wanted to push a button, but technology is not as easy as it looks. So many of you that thought it had gone schizophrenic over the summer and was changing colors off, we were figuring it out. But now we've figured it out, and we've created policy where major holidays, we change it also for a Trailblazer win, it will turn red. But this was a fun project that the students led, that they wanted to impact our community for years to come. Content marketing. Our university marketing communication has focused a lot on content marketing. Who are the audience that we haven't reached? How do we get them to understand our brand and to recognize some of the great things at Dixie State University? They've done that through videos, the You Will Be Found, You Make My Dreams Come True video. This is the You Will Be Found. This was a mental health video that really affected hundreds of thousands that saw this. If you have not seen it, I encourage you to get on YouTube. This was a performance by Raging Red, and it really made a difference in those that were suffering from mental illness or have loved ones that are suffering from mental illness. Then we also had content where we wanted to reach our alumni and remind them of Dixie State, and this is back in the 80s and what it means. We have so many alumni that met here, married, and now their kids are coming here, and so we wanted to remind them of that experience, and then they can send their kids to Dixie State, and this has been also wonderful. Also, Alex Boyer's video was also content marketing. We now have over 1.7 million views with that video. And so UMAC has done a great job using the few resources they have to meet a huge market. Community events under the direction of Megan Church. We had a 25% increase. What I love about community events is that when you come on our campus and the community is here, especially on the 4th of July, it's fun to see everybody. It's fun to feel the impact that not only does Dixie State have on the community, but the community has on us. And so we continue to try to increase our community events on our campus. We want to know what you feel about Dixie State University. We want to know how we're doing. We just conducted a perception study at Northern Utah and here in Washington County to find out how we're doing, how we're perceived. What do you think about our new academic programs? What do you think about the services that we're providing? What do you think about the direction we're going? And so this will help influence what we're doing and our next strategic plan. We heard loud and clear that you wanted a new website. So this year we have a new website and design. So it was under the direction of many people. We just hired our first web designer, Aaron Campbell, who's helping us. We also know that this is now in Spanish and other languages, and so if you get on there, you can also see the website in a different language. Focused a lot on marketing our academic programs. We have fantastic faculty. We have faculty that care, that are present, that just make a huge impact. If you want to know the impact, ask any of our alumni, and they'll name you several names of people that had an impact on their life and helped them. We also took that up north, and on a media tour, we wanted everybody else to know the impact that we've had, and that was a fun time to be able to share all the good news about Dixie State University. We also are continuing to market our Trailblazer Art in the City project. We now have 18 bison. We ordered 10 more, so feel free that you can, we'd love to have you buy one and purchase one. The goal of this is to make sure that anybody comes in our community, they know whose university is located in this community. Our UMAC and our DSU films, with all these content videos, have won award after award after award. Our DSU film program, under the direction of Phil Tuckett, led by Dean Jarvis in the College of the Arts, is just phenomenal. And so we're fortunate to have that added resource to an already talented University Marketing Communications. Now, probably what created the most published or press last year was intercollegiate athletics. Last year we conducted a feasibility study under the direction of Dr. Jason Booth. He and his administration have done a wonderful job. As you know, we made an announcement. Anytime you can get the governor and the lieutenant governor to come, you have to assume that you're going in the right direction. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. But the Division I announcement was led also with another $1 million donation by Dennis and Diane Lyman. And so they donated to the Geoscience Center, they donated to the softball, and this allowed us to create the renderings for our softball, a new softball stadium. And not to steal their quotes, but they said is you have a high caliber coaching staff there, you have nationally high qualified players, you now need to have a stadium worthy of them and their play. So let me show you a few of the renderings of this new softball stadium. Now that's a stadium. Locker room. I'm not an interior decorator, but I don't know if that white couch is going to work with the red sand, but I'll stay in my pay grade. The outside of the softball. I think our logo always looks better with palm trees. So this will be a $5 million project. We'll take checks today if you'd like to write a check. DIXIE, State University. We also had a generous donation by Rick Schofield and his son Dustin from Schofield Wealth Management. This is our Directors Club that we renovated in the bottom of Burns Arena. Last year, Dr. Booth, Wendy Bulkley, and their team increased the number of booster club accounts, which has really helped. Our students are also doing very well in the classroom. They have now the highest GPA in school history. They work very hard in the classroom, and we want to continue that trend. They also work very hard in the prospective sports. If you look at their winning percentage, 67%, we have winners on our campus. They have 5 teams that participated in the NC2A regionals last year. We had 3 teams that won the RMAC regular season or conference tournament, volleyball, women's tennis, and softball. I also want to recognize one special athlete on our cross-country team, Billy Hatch. She won the 10,000 meter RMAC championship, and then she placed 13th in the nation. I also want to recognize our golf team. They finished 9th in the nation, and because they did so well, we were able to host the NC2A regional, which was exciting. Coach Sutterfield has a very good team that represents us very well. Preparing for Division I, you've seen probably a lot of different facility renovations. Many people have asked what is going on in the south field, the football field. This is construction pictures, so you still don't know what it is, but there's a discus ring, a shot put ring, a javelin runway, and then just under the scoreboard is long jump in support of our women's track and field team. Also, if you're panicking and you drove by there and you see black on the top, I think I've converted everybody to the color red. It will be red eventually. That's the first layer. I think I panicked Dr. Booth last night when I called him and said, we don't do black, we do red. But it will be red, and it'll be a great addition to our track facility. In the Burns Arena, we replaced the seats. For those that come, they're now cup holders, so no more soda on your feet. This has been a great addition. We'll finish out adding those seats at the end of next year. Our tennis facilities were added last year, so our tennis team just decided to win the RMAC tournament. So I think that was a good way to christen them. So goal 6 and what we're doing this year, of course, our priority is to maintain the student-athlete GPA. Our student-athletes are also very active in the community, over 2,000 hours of service. And of course, we're going to market in new ways to have more students come to Dixie State University. So this strategic plan has been a huge success. We're excited about this final year of implementation. Many people have asked, well, what's next? And so this year, simultaneously closing out the last strategic plan, we're going to start the next strategic plan for 2025. We've hired a consultant, and you'll see advertised we're going to do a similar thing as last time is we're going to have town hall meetings, and we need you to come. Last time when we created our strategic plan, we had hundreds of community members that came to these town hall meetings and shared with us, what do you think that your university should look like? What do you think that we need to offer? And that's really why our strategic plan has been so successful, because our strategic plan has met the needs of our community. So I hope that you'll get involved with the new strategic plan. I hope you'll pay attention to when we have the town hall meetings. You can't make one, we'll have several that you can come to. We hope that you'll share your opinions, because this is your university. It's not my university, it's not the faculty and staff. This is our community's university, and we want you to be involved. So let me close with this. You can't have a State of the University address without some major announcement, which puts pressure on me for next year. So hopefully we'll have another major announcement next year. I want to recognize one group last year, and that's our advancement group. Vice President Brad Last, our development team, who's worked very hard. They raised over $10 million last year in support of our students, of our community, and this great university. And so we're really excited about the opportunities of raising even more money. And Vice President Last said, you know, I'm hesitant to raise more money because then you're going to want me to raise more money. And I'm like, well, that's the idea. So I'd like to make a very special announcement, and I'm going to ask some guests of mine from Mountain America Credit Union, Josh Davies, John Cannon, Jason Smith, to join me. you know, Mount America Credit Union has been a vital part of our community for many years. If you drive around our community, you can see many of the branch locations. But as I've gotten to know Mount America Credit Union, they're not just about serving your needs, but they also look for opportunities to serve the community. And I've enjoyed getting to know these men and what they stand for and what we're doing. They've been very supportive of what we're doing athletically at Dixie State University. And we had conversations all summer long, and they want to help. And it's just like the rest of you in our community. The first question that you usually ask is, how can we help? And so I am very pleased to announce that we have entered into a 10-year agreement with Mount America so they can be the exclusive credit union for Dixie State University Trailblazer Athletics. Now you're wondering, what does that mean? Go ahead, you can clap. So with that partnership, you'll see a few changes on our campus. This next year, you're going to see the Mount America Credit Union Jumbotron in the football stadium. You'll also see a Jumbotron in Burns Arena. And then we'll also be able to help us as we transition to D1 athletics. And so they're one of our first partners in a very big way to say, we recognize what you're doing, we want to help your community. So will you join me in giving them a big round of applause? As a token of our appreciation as a university, we are going to create a bison for them. Now, we would love to have that rolled out here, but you'd hate to paint it and they don't like it. And so we're donating a bison in recognition of this partnership. We're so pleased about this partnership, but we're going to work with them in selecting an artist, what it should look like, and also a location, so they can be part of the Trailblazer Art in the City program. Our student athletes would also like to thank them, and so I'd like to invite our Student Athlete Advisory Committee to come out and present Mountain America with appreciation, token of their appreciation. So we're going to keep them up there. After the next slide, we'd like all the student athletes and the coaches to join us on stage. But this is going to be a great year. This has been a fun 5 years that I've been here. It's exciting. Most people ask, what do you think? And I think I can just summarize it by, we're having a blast. It's a great community to be part of. It's a great institution. And so I thank you. Please get involved. Please get involved with the strategic plan. And go Trailblazers. So that concludes. We have lunch for you. So please, it's up in the concourse of the Burns Arena. And again, if those student athletes would join us on the stage, and we'll come and meet you up at lunch. Thank you for coming. Thanks for taking this.
Same thing.